see why Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks, and this is the reason why.
You know, when we saw Patrick Mahomes limping in that first half, we hated it because when you beat a team like the Chiefs, you want to beat them at full strength. However, we felt like that was an opportunity the Jaguars defense could take advantage of.
Yeah, what you should have done, or what we should have seen, was then put more pressure on the quarterback. And Patrick Mahomes still had time to sit in the pocket. Now, luckily, with him having a bum leg, he wasn't able to get the velocity on his throws and make the different throws and be able to scramble around like he normally does. But you still let him sit there and have time. And what he did, he picked you apart with one of the best tight ends there played this game, and Travis Kelce. 14 of his completions went to him. Like, if we could have just maybe stopped that guy, maybe the game would have been a little different.
And how fitting was it for the Kansas City Chiefs? The former Jaguar quarterback Chad Henne comes in. The Jaguars pin the Chiefs on that 2-yard line right here, going that way, and he puts together a good drive, a vet doing what veteran backup quarterback should do. He came in and did his job.
And that's what you really want in the NFL. You have your superstar, but then you have guys who just play their roles. And Chad Henne is a guy who just plays his role. He's a backup quarterback that's there to support the starting quarterback and can be serviceable when the starting quarterback goes out. And that's what you saw. You saw the offense wasn't quite the same. It did not click, but it was serviceable. They did not just retreat and go into a slumber or a stink. In fact, I argue that maybe if he played a little bit more, the game might not have been as close. But you got to give props for it and give credit where credit's due. A lot of other teams don't have a quarterback like that. They would have folded. He was able to do what he needed to do to keep them in a position to get the win.
Sticking with the Kansas City quarterbacks, even though Patrick Mahomes was not 100%, when the Jaguars did get close late, I think they were down like 3. Patrick Mahomes comes in and he puts together a drive.
Yeah, and again, it just goes back to his old reliables. Not knowing where the heck Kelce was, picking them apart, extending plays, and then Kadarius Toney came in and made some big plays. Not a lot of them, but where they mattered. Again, with a guy like that, even early when he was healthy, you got pressure on him, but you just didn't get him down. You have to win. You have to make sure there's no question when you're going up against a Patrick Mahomes.
James, I've never been a defensive coordinator, nor am I going to pretend like I've been one. But you would think, when you're talking about Travis Kelce, you would think, knowing that he is Patrick Mahomes' #1 target, that you would scheme differently. Why was Mahomes and Kelce able to connect so often, knowing that's his #1 target, the Jags defense knowing that?
Well, listening to Kelce talk and listening to people talk about this offense, one of the things that they do is they kill you with option routes. So what they do, every route, everything they have is an option route, and they understand when Patrick Mahomes is scrambling, he can make dang near every throw on the field. So they go and they scramble to find open spots, and that's what Travis Kelce was doing. But it's almost like you got to have a spy and somebody that can guard him man to man. You have to to pick your poison. I'm not going to let Travis Kelce beat me. Somebody else is going to have to, especially with Mecole Hardman not really playing. You had that eliminated one of their threats. Juju's got to be the guy, or Kadarius Toney. But instead, we let the guy who's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, the All-Pro tight end, be the one that killed us.
Now let's talk about our Jacksonville Jaguars. As you said, in critical situations, they showed their youth. They kind of reminded you when we were struggling this season. You can't turn the ball over in critical situations in the postseason.
Now, it's especially at running back. You gotta hold on to that ball. And Agnew came in, he was running the ball, doing well. And there's just so many close opportunities. Those are the things that are going to kick you when you play this sport at a high level and you go back and you watch the film. He almost broke 2 of those kickoff returns, especially that last one where he let the kicker just trip him up. But that wasn't a turnover, but like the fumble and then the interception. Those are things that you just can't do. And the only times that really happens is when you're trying to force the issue because you're letting the moment in the game become too big for you. That's where Doug B and that's where the veterans, and when you get more guys, and these guys will be veterans next year, have to calm everybody down and say, hey, one play at a time. To quote what he said last week, we chip away at the lead. We're not going to have one big play. And if they would have just taken that advice, I think the game would have ended differently.
Now, you said something interesting to me when we were standing over in the tunnel there waiting for this game to wrap up. Trevor Lawrence, on that interception, you were saying something about he had a man wide open on the other side had he looked that direction. Walk me back through walk the viewer back what you told me in the tunnel.
So what happens is it's easy to say when we're on this side of the tunnel and when we're up there, we don't have 300-pound guys running at us. But you have, and this goes back to like what I just talked about with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. You understand the offense, you understand what you're supposed to do, and you know that somebody's going to be there. So you can't just make up your mind and predetermine in a pressure-packed situation. You have to know where your wide receivers are going to be at. no matter what's coming down in front of you. He kind of made up his mind, felt good, threw it there, but it's always a better throw, especially for a right-hand dominant quarterback. You make the throw to your right because it's an easier throw, and I think that's kind of that was. It's always when you make a bad decision, there's always a better decision, and it's easier to say that in hindsight. But as he grows and becomes a better quarterback, he will start making the better decisions as opposed to just trying to go for the big play.
All right, I've been told that Boye Alua Khan is at the podium. Let's listen in.